Hi guys, Professor Latimer here, and today I wanted to talk to you about my tutor board for CC Cycle 1, Week 5. And before I start, I wanted just to show you how I like to keep track of what I'm going to do for each subject during new grammar. There's a lot of great, planning sheets that you can get off CC Connected, and I used those a lot last year. But this year I've really just kept it simple, and I use a pencil. And I just mark in my foundations guide what I'm going to do. Like for Latin, I wanted us to listen to this song, so I put song. For math, we did circle numbers, so I just put a note there. For timeline, find the dot. I can keep this with me next to my board while I do new grammar, and it just helps me remember pretty easily what I want to do for each subject. So go ahead and get started. We started with geography again this week. I just find that it's easier just to start with geography. I can just set out the maps before we start class. And so I have their black and white maps at each student's place. And then I've still been using these trifold geography printouts from CC user Capel off of CC Connected. And I just put them in these dry erase sleeves, or these clear sleeves, and put one of these at each student's place, and that just helps them to be able to see better what we're tracing, what we're finding, and it helps the parents to help the students point out what we're learning. So this week was Egyptian Empire, so these were helpful for us for that, and I just have them take their dry erase markers and trace it on their black and white maps. So that was geography. For math, we're doing 9s and 10s this week, and the students have been having fun. I have my class each take turns, and they'll pretend to be the tutor. So they'll take my pointer, and since I have 7 and 8-year-olds, we'll be skip counting. So they take turns, and they'll point to the 9s, and we'll sing through it, and the 10s. And then this week I had them take a dry erase marker and circle numbers. So I had each student, when they were done pointing, they got to circle 2 numbers, and then they went and sat down, and the next student would come up and point. And when we get to a circle, we raise our hands up, and when we get to the next circle, we put our hands down. And so our class had a lot of fun, and they ended up circling almost all of the 10s. So we were going up, down, so it was a lot of fun. And skipped counting through the math, it can take a while. So this activity has been fun to kind of keep their interest, because they get to come up and kind of be a tutor, and we're paying attention when we're going to raise and lower our arms. So it helps us get through the 7 times of the math, and it's pretty fun. So that's what we've been doing for that. For Latin, we're doing our second declension noun endings, and so I read through it one time, and then I played the CC song for Latin. And I wanted to share, I think I shared this on some of my other videos, but there's a website called Suzanne Shares, and she has these great Latin printables that have a really good pronunciation guide for the declension noun endings. And so it has pictures, and it just has a really good description of how to pronounce it. So I have this with me to help me when I'm learning the new ones. So I read it to them, and then we listened to the song a couple times. And we'll get these declensions next week, and then later on in the school year as well. So they'll get these down really well. And then for history, we do Tell Me About the Romans. And this is a long sentence, so I read through it once, and then I had them stand up, and I played the song. And because it's got a kind of good guitar music, we did air guitar while it played 2 times. And then I played the song 2 more times, and we marched around our tables. And whenever it would play the song again, we would reverse directions. So we reversed directions a couple times as we listened to it. So that was fun. And on my board, I tried to use some different colors for some of the different words because I like to use my tutor board at home with my kids when we review, and so I was thinking just having some of those words stand out in a different color might help with the memory work and memorization. And then for English, we're learning some more prepositions. So there's a whole preposition song, so we're just learning another section of it. And I just use my silly dice again, and I let each student take a turn to roll a dice. So I have like these dry erase dice from the Dollar Tree, or this is just a foam dice that I put like a white sticker, like a shipping label. You could take a shipping label, just a white sticker, and I wrote different actions or different voices on it. So they each take a turn to roll it, and we say through the prepositions, the 5 prepositions in that voice or doing that action. And then for science, we are learning what are the major groups of invertebrates, and we did some hand motions for this one. So it's sponges, like we're squeezing out a sponge, and we have stinging cell animals, like you get a sting. And then we have flatworms, roundworms, segmented worms, so like it's in 2 parts, so it's segmented. And then we have mollusks, so we're swimming because a lot of mollusks are swimmers. And then we have sea stars, like a starfish, and then arthropods, it's like an insect or an invertebrate with a lot of legs. It's like an arthropod. So sponges, stinging cell animals, flatworms, roundworms, segmented worms, and then we have mollusks, sea stars, and arthropods. And one of the tutors on our campus, she makes some songs for us, and she came up with a really fun song to SpongeBob SquarePants. So we've been listening to that one this week, and it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of fun ways to learn the memory work. And then last is timeline. So I just have my cards up, and again, I used, before class, I took my dry erase marker and I put a dot on the back of 4 of the cards in kind of a random order, and then the students take turns. We sing through it one time, and then I have the first student pick a card, and we look and see if there's a dot on the back, and if there it is, we go, yay! If not, we go, oh! And then I just lay that card down, and then we sing through it again with that card missing and try to remember what we brought down. And so I have 8 students, and so I had to have a couple team up. I had the last 2 team up, the last 4 team up and pick cards. So that's kind of how we do it with 8, but they have a lot of fun with that. They like guessing where the dot or the star is. So, and then for review, I did something new. I kind of mentioned it last week, but I got these brain flakes. I just put about 50 of them in a Ziploc baggie and put each of my students' names on them, and they got to play with these during review time while we went through the memory work. And I made this last year, so I'm just reusing it. This is just a piece of foam board from the Dollar Tree, and I drew leaves and a vine. And I call it Pick a Pumpkin because we're into fall now. And I used orange construction paper and made little pumpkins, and I laminated them so I could write on the back and change it when I wanted to. But this is Latin week 4, so I'll lay the board out on the ground, and I'll lay all the pumpkins out. And so while they're playing with their brain flakes, I'll have the students one at a time come and pick a pumpkin, and we'll go through that memory work. And that worked really well. It was a nice, calm review game. So I have some other games that I do for review, but they get kind of tired by the end of class, and sometimes the energy level can also just get really crazy. So this was just a nice, quiet, mellow review time, and so I think they all enjoyed that. They all built some cool things, and we all got our memory work done, so it was good. So that is what we did for CC Cycle 1, Week 5. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.